Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will show you a very basic sandwich bread recipe. We will bake this in a loaf pan, use it to make some grilled cheeses. Let's get to the recipe. Now I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour here. To this I'm going to add 1 cup of whole wheat. You can increase the whole wheat if you want. Just think of it like the more whole wheat you add, the denser of a bread you will have in the end. I'm going to mix this now. Into this we're going to add 6 grams of salt, which is like 2 teaspoons. I'm gonna make a well in the middle and add 6 grams of yeast. Again, it's almost like 2 teaspoons. I've heated up some water. Into this I'm going to add 2 cups of warm water. 2. I will also add some maple syrup, about a tablespoon, and again about a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm going to wait for like 40 seconds to a minute and then start mixing the dough. It's a very passive recipe. You're going to mix the dough. You won't even touch it with your hands. Just mix with a spoon, and then we're gonna let it rest for about 20 minutes. In 20 minutes we will do stretch and fold. We're going to do 3 of those stretch and folds and then let it rest for about 90 minutes. And then we will shape and let it rest one last time in the loaf pan for about 20 more minutes, and then we will bake it. I like adding the whole wheat flour for flavor and some extra fiber. See, I've added 2 cups of water, but it looks like it can take a little bit more, so I will add about 2 to 3 tablespoons more. I want you to focus on the consistency and not the exact measurements, because flour can differ like from brand to brand, or the humidity in your kitchen can differ. These will all affect how much water it will need and how much you should add. Basically, this is the consistency we want. At this point, I'm going to let it rest for 20 minutes and then come back to stretch and fold. Let's check back in the dough. It's been 20 minutes. It looks like this. I have a wet hand. I'm gonna stretch and fold. Shape it into a ball and going to let it rest for another 20 minutes. Now let's check our dough again. As you can see, the bubbles have started to form. We're going to fold a second time. Again, wet hands, stretch and fold, stretch and fold. We'll be back in another 20 minutes. The third fold. Can you see the bubbles? This is the last fold. At this point, we're going to let it rest for about 90 minutes, and then we're going to shape it, let it rest for another 20 minutes and bake. Now it's been about 90 minutes. Let's check on the dough. Wow, it's almost doubled in size. I'm going to prepare my loaf pan before I start shaping the dough. Now let's put this to the side. I'm going to flour the work surface. Popping up major bubbles. Going to do a second fold. Now we're going to cover this and let it rest for another 30 minutes. Okay, so I've let it rest for about, let's say, 5 minutes. I'm going to check on it now. Since it's a glass cooking dish, it's still very hot. I'm going to do this. There we go. Maybe I should let it rest for another 5 minutes before I cut into it, but I'm really curious. Outside is very crusty and crunchy, and inside is very soft and squishy. Okay, I have to try it with butter. Since it's not room temperature, it's not melting quite easily as on the bread, but that's okay. Very good.